Late night TV is in shambles, and the mainstream media, they're determined to hide it from you. But we've got the stats, we've got the data, and we're here to tell you, even Prince Harry and Stephen Colbert are being booed by hand-picked audiences while the access media runs circles around just what's really going down the drain with Kimmel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, damas y caballeros. It's the Pro Channel where we give you the news you need to know. And yes, drive-bys, you can get ready with your jumbo pencils for tomorrow's headlines. Folks, click the like button. We've got the data you need to see when it comes to late night TV and just how hard it's falling. We'll also show you how hard they're working at the access media to hide the wreckage. Well, we found out what it takes to finally get booed on late night TV, despite the fact that they bring in their crowds and they put signs above their heads to tell them when to clap like seals, and when to laugh like the little clowns they're supposed to be. They put up these signs to the audience. It turns out that even Prince Harry is so awful that he finally has managed to make people brought in from the streets who have signs that tell them what to do. They'll boo him. They'll break the rules and boo him. Prince Harry was on Stephen Colbert. This is by Nicholas McIntyre. And Prince Harry is just sort of our intro into letting you know how badly things are at late night. It's awful. It's terrible. But here's the intro. Prince Harry took a jab at President Trump during his awkward appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert as he teased Americans over their obsession with the royals, which he is not. Harry crashed Colbert's monologue at the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York City on Wednesday night when the late night host poked fun at the various problematic Christmas-themed movies centered around royalty. Harry shows up and says, "I genuinely thought this was the audition for The Gingerbread Prince Saves Christmas in Nebraska." Boy, that's funny. Harry joked he wanted to go into acting because he knew how obsessed Americans were with Christmas movies and royalty. Colbert dismissed the claims, which set the Duke of Sussex up for the scripted response. "Really? I heard you elected a king," Harry said, while boos and groans erupted from the audience. Now, we would love to play this for you. By the way, there's his brother who actually does real stuff as opposed to Mrs. or Mr. Markle. We would play this for you, but every time we do, Stephen Colbert gets the money for it, so we're not going to play it this time. I'm just going to tell you, they're actually getting booed now. They're so obtuse and they're so loose and lefty that they're getting booed in a hefty way on their own shows. And take a look at this. Out of the Late Nighter by Jed Rosenzweig. Kimmel's latest Trump clash lifts ratings past Colbert and Fallon combined. You see, while we're watching them get booed on their own shows and their ratings crash, the media is determined to give you a different story. So let me set the table and I'm going to show you how they play the game and how they're tricking you. And definitively, you're not going to, when we're finished with this, you're not going to walk away, I believe, and think, oh, I don't know, Pro might have a point, might not. No. They're working overtime to fool everybody and make you believe they're winning in late night when they're not. To prove this, I have to go way back in time. And I'm going to use Deadline because they love it when we use this, or when we use them. Nikki Fink is the author here. From March 2nd of 2010, a long time ago, says, update, Leno beat Letterman as expected. Now, why would we go here? Why would we do this? Why would we interrupt the flow of the segment to talk about this? Because there's a number here I need you to see. Well, two numbers in particular. You ready for this? Folks, take a look at how many people were tuning in to watch Jay Leno. It's right here in this paragraph. Okay? In total viewers in the Fast Nationals, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno ranked number one among the major networks in the time period over The Late Show. Jay Leno was pulling 6.6 million viewers. Not in the 90s, not in the 80s, okay? Don't tell me it was a different time when people didn't, no. Just 15 years ago, okay? Not a completely different time. 6.6 million viewers. 3.8 million viewers for Letterman. Okay? That's where we were. That's what life was like. That's what late night could be. Now, let's go back to where they are today. All right, what are we bragging about? What are we saying Kimmel's got? According to newly released Nielsen Live Plus 3 data, Kimmel's Tuesday, November 25th episode drew 3 million total viewers, up a full 56% week over week. Now, I'll just tell you all, every time Kimmel has a devastatingly bad show, which is most of them in terms of viewership, they never put an article out. They don't show it to us. Do you know how he got 3 million views? You think it's because he was so popular? Mm-hmm. He was the follow-up to Dancing with the Stars finale.
Oh, there you go.
Robert Irwin gave Jimmy Kimmel 3 million viewers at the start of his show before people turned it off. And they made an article about it to tell you that Jimmy Kimmel's doing great.
Can we just point out, like, Dancing with the Stars has had a shocking bump in popularity over the last season. Like, I'm constantly seeing clips of that online, and I think it's probably Robert Irwin.
Yeah, it's Steve Irwin's crew over there, and everybody loves Steve Irwin. And everybody loves his family, right? And so everybody loves his kids and his wife, and so we all wish that things had not gone that way they did, but we're wishing all of them well, and they're keeping his legacy alive, and they seem to be amazing, wonderful people. And who's the girl from Boy Meets World? What's her name?
Topanga or Danielle Fishel?
Fisher, yeah. So she's
sorry, with an L. As long as we're going back to the crushes of the past, her name ends.
Everybody loves her as well. Real quick, I don't want to belabor this, folks, but again, out of Late Night, or different article, I want to show you what he's really doing. Okay, it says, and this again is their good one. According to Nielsen ratings data, Jimmy Kimmel Live rebounded across both measures after airing 3 repeats the prior week, climbing to a nightly average of 1.98 million total viewers, which was up 10%, which means then we can take that number and know that he's getting around 1.7 million viewers regularly. Now, for those of you who don't know, that's where Jimmy Kimmel was before he did the national tragedy lie. So Late Night is dying. They're getting booed on their own shows. They're pulling a third of what they did 15 years ago. Jimmy Kimmel is a loser. Stephen Colbert is a loser. And the media is doing everything they can to only report silly stuff like, hey, he's having a fantastic viewership because... And then you go down 7 paragraphs. Because he came on after Dancing with the Stars and we measured it in the first 5 minutes. It's total nonsense. Late Night is dead. Panel, I'm going to put up an article in just a minute that's going to make you angry about this. I apologize for that. But Nat, what do you think about just how far they will go to try to twist the facts? Actually putting out an article, because not bragging about Dancing with the Stars, but bragging about the Dancing with the Stars audience that remained for 5 minutes in the Jimmy Kimmel show and using that to claim Jimmy Kimmel's a big winner now. How desperate must they be, Nat?
Well, they're the last remaining, I think, mouthpieces of the, I'll say, establishment and of what they want to push out there. And it was a good merge, Late Night, of, especially lately, I'm not saying good that I think it was good, but for them it was good where they could merge kind of politics and commentary, but also with celebrity and with things that would interest the general public. So it was a great avenue to establish that narrative on what they wanted to put out there. But now people, I think, are more and more sick and tired, not just of, in general, politics, but of that line of thinking and ideology and that narrative that had been coming out there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have booed in such a fervent manner for what Prince Harry said. And I think also they're sick of Prince Harry. We are all.
Oh, yeah, everybody is. Look, that got a better... Lord has not laughed that hard at Late Night, in 5 years. So that you hit a nerve there, a truthfulness there. We are sick of Harry, but we're also sick of the people who empower Harry, the people like Stephen Colbert. But what they do is they lie about the ratings. They also stuff the audience with people who just look up the screen and go, okay, it's time for me to clap now. Okay, clap, clap, clap. Oh gosh, I'm supposed to cheer. Okay, cheer, cheer, cheer. That's what they do. It's all smoke and mirrors. None of this is real. And it's time for somebody to point this out. And here's the article that's going to make people angry. We ready for this one? Let me go here. If we click on what Jimmy Kimmel's wife, who also happens to be his producer, has to say, which nepotism, thy name is Kimmel. Get ready for this. Out of Daily Beast, this just came out. Jimmy Kimmel's wife blasts thin-skinned Trump. She's the woman, by the way, who has said that she basically has ostracized family members who refuse to vote the way she wants them to. Okay? Here's what she says. I watched a show. This is Jimmy Kimmel's wife. I watched a show. Coworkers, friends, and the man I love be put on indefinite suspension after our thin-skinned president asked for his removal. And his FCC chair publicly threatened the company we work for. None of that is, they were canceled for a week because he lied about a national tragedy. He disparaged someone who had just passed away in a murder. And then Hollywood talent agencies threatened Disney to the point they put him back on. She goes on, I'm one of the lucky ones. We got knocked down. We got back up. Continuing, this is what's amazing, and I'll have to censor this a little bit because it's a little bit graphic. It says it's something that I look forward, or it's something that I took for granted, something that I thought I'd always have. What is she talking about here, folks? Jimmy Kimmel's wife is talking about free speech. Jimmy Kimmel's wife is equating her husband being taken off the air for lying about a national tragedy in which someone was murdered. She is equating being taken off the air with her loss of the First Amendment, which makes one wonder: do we all get late night shows? I don't know. And
it's always so funny when people are like, free speech. But it's not freedom from consequences, of course, is the thing that always gets said in response. To have the people who buy the show, the affiliates, say, we don't want to air this. That's not really free speech. And they're still free to say whatever awful things they want to say. They just don't get the huge megaphone to say it. But apparently they get that megaphone back until they come back around to the fact that this is not a profitable show.
And then she makes a joke and she says, it's like my feminine cycle. Did you know those can just stop? It turns out your freedom in this country can too. Now, real quick reminder, folks, here's what Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh my goodness.
Here's what, yeah. And this is how he and his wife handle.
Well, at least Jimmy and his wife have that in common.
They do. They're masters of logic. Here's what got him actually kicked off.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between.
Just stop there. That's enough. We've done it over and over. That's why Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air. And ever since that happened, and ever since the ratings for late night have crashed, with Gutfeld winning every single day, the media has worked overtime every single day to lie, to persuade, to trick, to confuse, using Dancing with the Stars audience numbers. Trying to tell you that Stephen Colbert is a big thing, even while his own audience boos him as he goes out the door. I just wanted to do this because I want people to understand how bad it is, and the fact that you won't read how bad it is, because there is a class of writers out there who is determined never to let you know how bad it is. And we're happy to pull away that door and say, not only is it this bad, but this is the kind of insanity that the people who make this stuff, this is what they do behind the scenes. Instead of apologizing, they make jokes about their bodies while Charlie Kirk's body is in the grave. That's what they do. That's how much they care about having caused pain. Oh, we almost lost our freedom of speech. Oh, thank goodness we fought back and we won, and we got our late night show that we definitely are entitled to by the Constitution. Oh, we beat the Orange Man. No, you are disgusting. That's why you were off the air for a little bit and should still be off the air. Mo, what you think about late night, especially in light of the fact that Jay Leno and Letterman, by the way, Letterman in the 90s was pulling like 7-8 million viewers. These clowns are, they're jumping up and down if they get 3 million off of having a lead in from a huge show.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of those people that made a point of watching a late night whenever it came on, mainly Conan in his prime. But it's twofold. They're a bunch of mouthpieces for the lefties and the leftist government. They're also far less talented than the people that came before them. They couldn't hold a candle to Conan, David Letterman, or Jay Leno. So you couple that together, they have poor messaging and they're not funny on top of that, even with writers. They're getting their just desserts. The fact that they're even above 1 million on average just shocks me. But you got to have the TVs on in the airport, and Meemaw
that's exactly right.
Something. Yeah.
Right. In assisted living. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Meemaw's in her assisted living center, and we got to watch like the late night, and that's the only people that are watching this are literally in the end of life category, the 65 and above that still watch this kind of stuff. And it's just nonsense. It's an antiquated model, and it's dying a slow death. And
it is, but I wish it had more dignity as it went out. I mean, this stuff like what his wife is saying is just It's just grotesque.
That's deplorable. It's like right around, and it's still fresh in people's memory. Charlie Kirk getting unalived, taken off from the surface just because he wanted to have a discussion. He didn't even say anything inflammatory, unless you were, somebody that was, persuaded by these the messaging that they have on TV and on certain outlets, And she says something like that. She equates freedom of speech to something that women have each month. That is disgusting to me. Like disgusting on every level. Disgusting as an analogy, and disgusting as the way you view free speech. And she doesn't even understand it. It's just okay.
There's no reverence. How's that? There's no reverence.
Yeah,
like you're talking about the reason your husband went off the air is because he lied about somebody's passing. And he lied in a grotesque way, in a political way. And he tried to make a political point off of an untruth, a terrible untruth.
And let's not forget. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Just one more thing, because when you were saying all that, they're on public airwaves. They're beholden to a set of rules that wouldn't be put on them if they were on like something on private, private channels like
cable.
Yeah. If you're on cable, if you're on CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox, or if you're in the FCC has overview of you. You cannot spread mistruths like that over public airways. It is not. That is an FCC violation, and he completely violated. The fact that he's still here is just ridiculous because of that.
And Disney caved to the Hollywood elites who said, "You're going to put him back on the air. We don't care." Lauren, I'm going to give you a final word on this one. Late night is just totally down on the mat. It's never going to get back up. They wiped it out at the altar of politics, and now they're trying to wipe out memory hole the ability for people to know that this is what they did to it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm convinced that it's gone forever. I think that it will come back around at some point, because shows like Joe Rogan's, for instance, people enjoy long-form conversations, talking to interesting people. And I think once you get away from pushing a political angle, when people are back to, say, a more normal time, they're going to crave that and the entertainment angle again. This is also where people promote their movies, whatever shows or things that they have coming up. It's where you get novelty acts that you wouldn't otherwise see and propels other people to stardom. It's in the industry's best interest to have an outlet like that that's accessible to people who wouldn't consume normal marketing. And so I think it will persist in some kind of form, maybe a little different than what we have today, but I think it's a little early to ring the death knell on late night. Somebody's going to capitalize on that formula again.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, what if we can't say that the entire genre is out until we get somebody who actually does the job well getting into the position. So if you get a good late night host who's not doing a partisan hack, then we can answer the question of whether or not the format is actually dead.
Hey, maybe they could think about Gutfeld. Helping Hollywood produce a product that you want to consume. That's what we do each and every day, folks. And this time, it's time to, say goodbye. We know, but don't cry. No, for we will have more videos on the way. We love to bring those videos and that information. And by the way, if you'd like even more, consider going to the Patreon page. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro. It's where we put out stuff exclusively there that we simply can't put out in other places for whatever reason, be it because it's too spicy or because, perhaps we're working to corroborate it. But you can find out things early and first over there. Folks, we surely have had a great time spending time with you. Consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to those pesky algorithms. It is the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.